Hey everybody, David G here, founder of the Internet Marketing Party, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be presenting you today with our guest speaker for the Internet Marketing Party in Austin, Texas. His name is Paul Kirchoff. Paul, how are you?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. So Paul, I want to say you were introduced to me by a very good friend of mine and a past Internet Marketing Party speaker, Adam Lyons, and then one of our clients, Jeff Vasek, is somebody who you've worked with as well. And I know you're in Ryan and Perry's big mastermind, and every time I poke around, somebody else knows you. And then I started researching you and did your bio, and it turns out you launched the Inspiron laptop computer at Dell when you were at Dell working back at corporate, and took that to over $1 billion in sales. And then, you've always had the entrepreneurial bug. So then you went off and started your own marketing agency that you sold to the NASDAQ to some big company on the NASDAQ for, I don't know how much money, but you probably did quite well. And you look like a young man, so you probably did that when you were in your teens or something.
I wish.
And was surfing on your Facebook page. You've been off at Necker Island, and you're always off doing crazy, wild stuff, drinking champagne out of the what was the trophy that I saw? It was the U.S. Open.
Yeah, the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah,
the Golf
so
Cup. Yeah.
you live an illustrious life filled with action, adventure. I like your bio that you sent over about keeping things weird. So I was commenting before we hit record on this that, a lot of times when people come from such a strong corporate background, they're kind of stiff in the middle, and you seem to be fitting more than well right in with the maverick, crazy lifestyle entrepreneur type. So hopefully that gives you those of you at home watching Paul here, gives you a good idea of what you're in store for. So in the next 15 minutes or so, Paul, why should people keep watching this presentation, and then we can talk about why they should come to the party on Thursday, May the 8th.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first of all, thank you for that very unique introduction, because I don't think anybody's ever summed up pieces of my life like that. But the most important thing is I've been extremely blessed, not just with people around me, but the opportunity to do things. But the most important thing for me is I'm just addicted to a blank sheet of paper. And a lot of times when you are built like that, you don't really care how people have done things before you, because your creativity and your brain will find a unique way to get things done. And it's been very important to me all the way through life to not only work really hard, but to also play hard at the same time.
I can tell.
There's a lot of pieces to that, and part of that allows you to be a little bit more radical than the next person that you talk about. So the bottom line on why somebody should come to this is because I think they're going to meet an entrepreneur who, was not given venture money. It was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. It's a person that, used some, the invisible hand of the universe plus a little bit of brains to figure this stuff out and launch some successful companies. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a place right now where, that same blank sheet of paper is now being applied to every aspect of internet marketing. And so the same unique way that I've approached every business opportunity and every problem, not really caring how other people have done, has allowed me, and now across every aspect of internet marketing, to figure out new ways of getting things done. And so regardless of what you've read online, regardless of what somebody has read in or watched in a webinar, I guarantee you some of the stuff that I'm going to share when we get to that party is going to be something radical across SEO, across Facebook advertising, across e-commerce. We're very, very deep in everything, and I'm going to, open the kimono and share as much as possible with the group.
Awesome. Can you give us one or two? There's three parts. Can you give us one or two something actionable that people can take away? I know this is I didn't prep you for this. If you're watching at home, Paul didn't know I was going to ask him this. Is there something you can share with people that can kind of knock their socks off, as far as chances are good they're not doing this? So obviously not build a list or basic stuff that everybody knows. But is there anything that you're like, huh?
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I'll give you one example right now. So a lot of people attempt to do SEO, right? And a lot of people compete, especially when you're starting off with a business. You compete with companies that are much bigger. They spend much more marketing than you do. Well, one of the things that we found to be successful is that when you try to take a web page that you own, whether it's a website or it's a single landing page, and you want to drive traffic to it, one of the best ways to drive traffic to it is to have a single page that compares your product with a much bigger competitor. It's got to be legitimate marketing, but once you do that, you SEO that page for the competitor's name. And so what the page title says is it basically says, this is a great alternative to, and then insert your competitor's name. What you can do with very light internet marketing and some backlinks and some signals is rank that page right beneath their website. You're never going to beat their website. You'll rank it right beneath. Now, here's the benefit. Every time they drop a catalog, the more money they spend in pay-per-click, anything they do in marketing is going to drive branded searches. And as soon as they drive branded searches and these people are looking for the website, right beneath it is going to be in their face an alternative to that. And you will draft as much as they spend. The more they spend, you will get more traffic from them and be able to convert somebody else's marketing dollars. So there's a little ninja trick that is one of many I'm going to share that is a way for you to use somebody else's money. The bigger they are, the better. And you just draft and make money off of their spend.
Wow. That's way cool from two fronts. Thank you, because I always like to be a good host, right? So, but at the same time, it makes for a much better presentation if I put a little fire under you, right? So, it's kind of an interesting dynamic there. So I'm always impressed when I put somebody under the gun like that, and sometimes they go, good question, or they hem and haw, and you just, I mean, seriously, those of you at home, Paul had no idea I was going to ask him that, and he just rattled that off, and I can tell just from his confidence that you've got a lot more in there.
We got a lot more coming.
All right, cool. So what would you say is the biggest thing that folks can expect when they come to the party? Like, if we were to do, what would be a good headline for the party?
I would say how to do things that no one else is doing in your market. How about that?
So, and are you gonna give like structure and principles so that people can develop their own, or are you gonna give them so many different techniques that what does that look like?
Yeah, no, I think that, part of it is, there's always universal things, right? People need more traffic as cheap as possible, and you need to be able to convert that traffic. Some people convert leads, some people convert e-commerce sales. The good news is we have, tons of experience, my company, in everything. I pay attention to it and fashion myself as a little bit of an expert. So I think part of it will be showing people very, very actionable things they can do. And I'm happy to stand in front of anybody, professional, expert professional, or novice, and to be able to both give them value in explaining what this is, and to also tell them exactly what to go do that is probably something they haven't done before. So I think they're going to see more things like what I just shared. But I'm happy to do it in Facebook advertising, pay-per-click, conversion marketing. We can open it up and really mastermind in front of the whole group.
Dude, your confidence is infectious. It's like really cool. What I like about it the most is you don't come off as cocky or arrogant. You're just confident. It's like, like sometimes when people are really confident, it's kind of like, you just kind of, you don't want to hate them, but you can't help it. You're just like regular guy, man. It's really cool.
I am a totally regular guy, and the funny thing is that I think there's lots of reasons for that. It doesn't really matter to me what you have achieved in your life. I've been fortunate to have people around me, including family and everything, that has always taught me that no matter what success you find, be grateful for who helped you get there. And in fact, there's been a lot of people who have helped build this knowledge that I have. And so whenever there's an opportunity like the group that you've put together, it's very, very important to me to just give and give and give, because to some degree it doesn't really matter about, business. It comes your way if you are good. And, when your competition sleeps, you're up at 2 a.m. studying. And I've always been like that. But there's very few times that I get the chance to really just be part of a community and open up and give them something that may change their lives too. And that's what I'm looking forward to in this next session.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to brag on you because it was a little bit hard for us to connect. Like, this is the first time you and I have actually, even though we both live in Austin, and we were introduced by two different people that we both trust and respect and look, really like their company and stuff, but we just both been busy. You're always traveling. I'm always working. So this is the first time we've even interacted. And so first thing I said when we got on the phone yesterday is like, look, man, we're 2 weeks away from the party. I know you've been really successful, but I want you on our stage if this is something that the people that do the best on our stage are the ones that want to give back. And I didn't really know you yet, so I kind of felt like I was maybe treading on, kind of like pushing back on you a little bit, because I was starting to get the feeling like maybe you were too busy. And so it was really refreshing to see you just be like, man, I really was too busy, but now that I'm here, I'm here. And I'm here for not just, you're not here for me, you're here for those of you at home watching. So I really can feel that authenticity, and it's awesome. It's one of the reasons I live in Austin. I love the eclecticism of Austin, where you can have this, brilliant 4 or 5-star restaurant with people in shorts and flip-flops. It's like just that perfect, like, there's no right way to do things, and people who take themselves too seriously, they're just not fun, and you just seem like you're really down to earth. So I look forward to that. Now, one last thing I want to ask about is your company, Sail Lamp. I went and did some research on it, and you're doing some outrageously innovative things. You were telling me yesterday about how there was a representative from the Chamber of Commerce who called you up, or wanted to talk with you, and she said, wow, you're like one of the biggest agencies in town, like you're like up, starting to nip at the heels of like GSD&M, and we've never heard of you. So talk a little bit about why that might be, and then I want to ask you, how the hell are you doing this performance only marketing, because nobody does that. You're basically saying, hey, if we don't get you results, you don't pay. Like, who does that as a service agency?
Well, it's interesting. So you're exactly right. If you lined up 100 internet marketers in Austin, I would be surprised if one of them had ever heard of my company. And part of it is we've been growing by word of mouth as fast as we can make sure we do a good job. And whenever you have a business model, if you're bold enough to put your money where your mouth is, you have to do a good job, because if you don't, you could starve yourself, right? So, but the background behind the business model that has been fueling a lot of our success and growth has been that maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I watched an internet marketing webinar, and a guy was on there, and he goes, my business has a 75% conversion rate. And I sat there and I'm like, what business converts at 75%? And what the guy said was, he said, because my business model is better than risk-free. If you buy from me, I'll not only give you your money back if you're not happy, but you're going to leave with gifts and knowledge and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's better than risk-free. And literally 4.5, 5 years ago, I started thinking, I wonder how one company can actually do that for another company, because I've never heard of anybody putting that. I mean, I've heard of obviously B2B. Affiliate marketing. Yeah, affiliate marketing is certainly performance-based, but it's the Wild West, and there's really no consideration. If I'm an affiliate marketer and I do something for a company and I don't feel like I'm being successful, I just bail, right? And the company doesn't care, because they're not writing checks, so they don't care what you do unless you start doing something bad to their brand. Mm-hmm. And so I started to think through, like, how can I do something where everybody's head's in the game? People are not just being retainered to death, right? And, that model is not really working, because you, as a service provider, you're kind of incentivized to do as little as possible to get the next check, so you make the most money. But the real magic has been that when a service company puts its money on the same results that the company cares about, i.e. revenue, and only gets paid when more revenue comes in, everybody is on the same page. And it's really been a complete game shifter now. The reality is it's very, very hard to execute that at a big scale. You have to really be good at what you do. You cannot make mistakes. You have to be careful of what customers you partner with, right? Because there's no concept of customers, they're partners. If they can't close leads and you're sending them leads, you have a problem, because they're not making you revenue. So, part of the radicalness that I'm bringing together is a little bit of this better than risk-free model for companies, at the same time that I'm leveraging a lot of the operational sophistication that we had at Dell that really let us have advantages over anybody else for many, many years. Wow. Those two things are coming into play to be able to bring pay for performance from one company to another. And it's been a very interesting ride. But again, I'm grateful for everything that we've achieved. And part of this is is for sure giving back. But I'm also interested, I never stop learning. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that's up at 3 a.m., sending emails to my team about some new service I found or somebody who's doing something unique in the affiliate world. And so I know that there's a lot of people in the audience that can teach me stuff too. And I'm looking forward to making some friends and throwing some high fives down. And also, I'm sure we're going to do something a little bit more radical than some of the other speakers, because that's just the nature of how I'll get up there. But it should be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be really exciting.
Oh man, this is I got to tell you, like, wow. I mean, unfair advantages. You alone. I mean, you're so freaking charming, dude. Now I know why now I know why you and Adam Lyons get along.
That guy's got a lot of skills that I don't have, but I got enthusiasm on my side, man. I love this stuff. I love this. I can do this 24 hours a day.
You also have clarity. It's very obvious that you're very it's not just laser focus. It's clarity of thought, clarity of vision, and it's very apparent. I appreciate it. I feel inspired. I feel it's cool, man. I'm absolutely thrilled. I hope that those of you at home that are watching make it out to the party in Austin, Texas, at the Market. Used to be called Six Lounge at the corner of 4th and Colorado, on Thursday, May the 8th. And doors open at 7. Paul will go on and on stage and knock all of our socks off by about 8 o'clock. And I already told him about who one of our most popular speakers was and what he did. So Paul seems like the kind of guy, if you can make it to this party, even if you fly in from out of town or drive in from Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, we've had people coming all the way from Canada. So if you're watching this and you're as inspired as I am, get your butt down to Austin. You've got a couple of weeks now. Paul, thank you so much. Any parting words before we any like extra magic sprinkle you want to put on there to get people to?
Man, I'll tell you what. I think from the opening until 8 o'clock, we're gonna have some cocktails from 8 till whenever the crowd gets tired. We're gonna drop some knowledge bombs that could change some people's lives, and then after that, we're gonna be high-fiving over a couple of cocktails. And I can't wait to meet everybody. We're gonna keep this stuff crazy. I can't wait,
dude. Thank you so much. Speaking of, let's give a high five.
Likewise, my brother.
All right, dude. Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
And thanks again for your time. I'm gonna hit stop.
All right, man. I appreciate it. I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to see everybody.
Rock on.